Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon. So every Monday in these parts, we do what is called a masterclass on the concept is the one and only Mr. GQ himself, Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson. Guess what, y'all? Homegirl bust up on suit today because I say, boy, Professor coming to the studio today. I can't let Professor outdo me. I got to look the part. So to our Facebook audience, my producer is still working on trying to get the camera up. So y'all please bear with us. I'm assuming you can hear what we're saying. Waiting for the producer to get the camera turned on for our Facebook viewers. So please bear with us while we deal with that. In the meantime, the telephone number is to call 3260271. 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages only is 801-0271, 801-0271. And people, please do not send a voice note on our text line. Please do not call the text line because I will not be able to answer it or listen to your voice note. That is for text. All right, now we're cooking with gas. So welcome to our Facebook audience, our YouTube audience as well. And again, we are here on this Masterclass Monday with Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson talking about the Constitution. How far did we get last time?
I think it's 9. We finished 9-2. We were 9-2 going on 9-3.
Okay, so what I need to do, Now you didn't remember to bring the Constitution book with you, because I would have.
I
If not,
see.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, I forgot it. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's
I'll
okay.
remember-
I have it on my phone. All right, so
I
let me.
remember to put it in my bag.
That's okay. I was gonna
Uh-huh.
remind you when we spoke this morning, but I said, nah, he can remember. So anyhow, let me just read it from my phone.
Mhm.
Let's see, you said we were at 9:3.
9-3.
Okay. 9:3 says any application for registration under this article shall be subject to such exceptions or qualifications as may be prescribed in the interests of national security or public. Yes, we did cover that. Okay, so the next article would be Article 10.
Article 10, yeah.
Now, you gave me stuff for Article 11 just now, so.
Yeah, you should have 10.
Oh, okay.
You should have 10.
All right, so Article 10 of the Constitution reads, any woman who after 9th of July 1973 marries a person who is or becomes a citizen of the Bahamas shall be entitled, provided she is still so married, upon making application in such manner as may be prescribed, and upon taking the oath of allegiance or such declaration as may be prescribed, to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas, provided that the right to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under this article shall be subject to exceptions or qualifications as may be prescribed in the interests of national security or public policy. So in plain English, what is that saying, Professor? While I grab my notes from out of my laptop case.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. Because what has happened is that I've always said that the Constitution, each article is very specific, either the time limits or the particular issue
Right.
regarding women, regarding men. And I think that we need to pay attention to detail. And from my years of experience, I've observed that we haven't paid much attention to the details in the articles of the Constitution, because each one is different in a sense that there are some specific things that should be met.
Okay, before we go any further, I'm being advised we have a call on the line.
Yes.
So let's deal with the caller, and then we'll come back to those specifics. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Malcolm, most beautiful. We appreciate you being on the line. And welcome to your guest, the Constitution man.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. As it relates to the Constitution of the Bahamas, only one topic has already been discussed. That's Article 3. Well, that's 7 as it relates to Bahamian citizenship. Give me a chance. As it relates to the Bahamian citizenship, every child born in the Bahamas shall be like every other nation. When you're born in America, I don't care who you is, you're an American. You born in Jamaica, you born there, you're a Jamaican. You born in Haiti, you're a Haitian. You're born in Africa, you're an African. You're born, you know what I mean? But only the Bahamas have a problem, and it's so surprising because England was a Jamaican.
So, caller, before you go any further, you new to the show, eh?
Yeah.
You just start listening to GPS, eh?
As it relates to the Constitution, I was listening to Mr. Thompson. I was always following him.
No, my question is, are you new to this show?
I'm not new.
But I asked that because what you're talking about, we don't cover. We going through the Constitution line by line, article by article. So we already covered the article. What you talking about?
How and what was the discussion when you covered it?
Wow, dude, I have to tell you to go through the links on YouTube or Facebook to find that particular show. Just check back every Monday because you trying to take us back to what we done deal with a couple of weeks ago. We are now on Article 10. You want us to go back to Article 3? We've already dealt with that. So we go through the Constitution line by line, article by article. So for you to ask me now to go back to 3 to explain what we already covered in detail, I would prefer that you go and look it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube or Facebook. Jason, check your WhatsApp, please. It's on YouTube or Facebook. I'd prefer to ask you to go back there and watch that particular show, because we can't accommodate going back to that just to answer your questions when we covered that in detail. All right? I hope you understand. I guess he's gone. Okay.
And I may just add for his edification and
Okay.
others who might be listening, since we're on 10,
Right.
to go through it one more time and read it, then we can go and break it down bit by bit. Hopefully he'll be listening so that he'll learn something about Article 10. Because I believe that a lot of the people who may be listening, the information is relatively new to them.
Right.
And I can understand that. So I take my time to explain in simple, basic, fundamental language so that people can understand, because there have been so many misconceptions in people's heads. And when you don't know the Constitution, Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you're going to get a lot of misinformation
Right.
from persons who may be well-intentioned,
Uh-huh.
who are supposed to be reputable, qualified people in their respective field. But the fact is, if you don't know, you should say you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
instead of putting out a lot of misinformation out there and then trying to compare the Bahamas with other entities. That is a major weakness we have in the Bahamas, because we don't know our supreme law. That has been a major flaw for the last 56 years since majority rule. January 10th would make 56 years.
Right.
And we have to do something about that, Ms. Malcolm.
Yeah.
And Bahamians, this is extremely important at this stage in our life, where even the current Constitution itself has to be dealt with. And I ain't gonna get too much into that because we want to deal with 10.
Right. I mean, if we would have stopped to go back over every article every
Right.
time somebody called what we
That's
already
time
covered,
consuming.
it will never get through the whole
No,
thing.
You won't.
So the fact is that the shows are on YouTube, they're on Facebook. So just go back and follow what was said already under 3.
Yeah, if he would have listened, I'm sure that he can gather, because I'm sure that I put it in simple, basic, fundamental language. You don't have to worry about all that legalese,
Right.
which is in the Constitution.
But the point is,
itself.
it's already been covered.
It has been covered, yeah.
Yeah.
And in detail.
Okay.
Yeah, but just read for the benefit of audience.
Right.
10.
So we're talking now about Article 10.
Mhm.
What is meant by the term any woman? I mean, that sounds pretty simple, but so let's
Yes, the Constitution means any woman married to a Bahamian or one who has become a Bahamian. That could be a Haitian woman, that could be a Jamaican woman, it could be an American woman, any woman. A girl, now let me make this clear now, a girl born a female, grows up, becomes a full-fledged woman. That's what it means when it says any woman. Now, you got some strange things happening, and you have persons purporting to be women. The Constitution doesn't cover that.
Well, this opens a can of worms, because nowadays, I mean, when the Constitution was written, you didn't have transgenderism as you do now. So you didn't have people who actually go through the whole procedure of having body parts adjusted and removed and inserted and all that kind of stuff. So now, in the minds of many, the definition of woman has changed since that was written. According to modern day life,
Well, let me
what
just...
does that raises the question: what is a woman?
Yes, and you must understand that people have done some strange things to themselves. Nature has not changed, Miss Malcolm.
Agreed.
It's still the same. Okay? Now, if someone does something to their body, and that's the way they want it, don't try to put that on the nation or try to make people believe that you have a right to something that was never intended.
But you don't think that this opens the grounds for some kind of legal challenge? If I, in modern 2022, have gone through all kind of procedures and stuff, and I, now identify as a woman, and everything on me look like woman, and you pass me in the street and you wouldn't know I was not born a natural female, so
Yes.
I don't qualify as a woman according to the Constitution.
No,
The
you
Constitution doesn't say that, though.
No, the Constitution says that.
How so?
Because all you do, Ms. Malcolm, we've been going through article after article.
Yes.
We started with the preamble.
Yes.
The foundation stones were laid down for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Those stones aren't changing.
Right.
They're there. So when you look, see, that's why I have to look at the entire context of the Constitution. I'm happy the way how our founding fathers set up this document. It's a beautiful document, well-intentioned. We wanted God to be in charge of our national affairs. We didn't want to get involved in all these funny things you see happening now. We needed God's guidance to guide us and direct us in our national affairs. That has not changed. It's not going to change. Now, what we have to do, let me just add this while I remember, is that we have to look at the changing times in this wicked society, and we have to ask ourselves some tough questions. What are we going to do if we are challenged? Because the Constitution does say any woman. In fact, in a number of articles, you're going to see that any woman. It got more any woman than any man. But I'm saying that we who know better, we have to make sure that we move to protect what we have, because you have those who have their own agenda, and they're going to push their agenda on you to make you believe that you're guilty of something when you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't stand up and fight it, then what's going to happen?
So you don't think that it needs to be amended to make that clear?
I believe we're going to have to define woman in our Constitution.
Right.
We have to define man in our Constitution. We have to define father and mother in our Constitution. What I'm saying is you have statute laws. That's fine. But the statute laws are not strong enough.
Uh-huh.
They even challenge them too. But all I'm saying is when it comes to the Constitution, every single word, every single phrase, every single sentence, every single paragraph in that document is important. I don't take it lightly. So if we can have a situation where a purported personality comes along and says, I'm a quote unquote woman, and we know by hard evidence that that's not the case, why should that article apply to that individual? It was never intended for that purpose. We have to go to the original intent. What was the intent of the founding fathers? What is the purpose of having this Constitution set up the way it was set up? Yes, society have changed. People have had their own ideas, their own way of looking at things. Are you going to tell me now this nation, which is a nation under God, must bend and bow and shrink to anything? Because when you look at the Constitution, you're going to see, Ms. Malcolm, there are some things the government of the Bahamas cannot accept because the Constitution doesn't permit it. It's just that simple.
Right.
Now, are we prepared to stick with the Constitution? Because we need a government in place that will do that. The reason why we're in so much trouble today, because we are not running the country according to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Right.
That's our problem. If we were running things according to this document, we would have a much better country than what we have today. But we don't. But we got to fix. We can fix that. That can get fixed.
Okay. All right. So
So any woman, any
naturally
female,
born female,
born female,
even
grown
that-
up to a woman.
even
That's
that ain't what it say, but I
No, but that's
understand
what
your
it
point.
is. That's what it is. We know that. See, the Constitution.
Professor, I see some serious lobbying going on around the world right now. You got
That
to
is
be
why we have to
very
lobby.
clear and very specific.
No, I'm going to be very clear, very specific, and that is why those of us who know better, knowing the wickedness out there, We have to move swiftly to protect the interests of the Bahamian people. And we have to tell the government of the day, this must be done to preserve a nation that is going to be willing to go God's way.
Mm,
Just as simple as that.
I hear that. All right. So we've covered what it means by any woman.
Any woman, yeah.
And when it says any woman, that doesn't apply to any specific nation, correct? Anybody
No,
from anywhere,
no, anywhere, any woman,
including Mars.
I don't know.
If a woman
But still apply.
if a woman was on Mars to
Ah.
somehow survive and she make it to Earth and she married a Bahamian woman, she could still get citizenship even though she was living in Mars. It don't matter where. Let me stop. But you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand. I understand.
Anywhere on Earth.
Anywhere on the planet, any woman, any female coming to woman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So all she has to do is marry this Bahamian man. Now, what protects the Constitution from marriages of convenience? Is there anything in there that protects from marriages of convenience where I just go out and I marry this woman because she paying me $2,000 to get her citizenship, and we get married, and then after everything clear and she get her citizenship, then we go our separate ways? Is there anything to protect against that?
That's a good question that you asked. Very interesting question. I don't know of any specific thing in the Constitution that could safeguard that. But what I do know is, if we educate our people according to the principles on which the nation was founded, we have certain behavioral patterns that we ought to live by, we ought to practice in order to do what? Preserve our freedoms, right? If we allow any and everything to come in here, we do any and everything, mixing up with all kinds of foolishness and nonsense, our freedoms won't be preserved.
But some people are driven by money, though. They ain't care about
That
all
may
them
be
other
so.
things.
That's greed. And so the thing is that the Constitution talks about a national commitment to self-discipline.
Right.
I don't know of the government of the Bahamas ever creating a program from the time this came into effect to deal with discipline in our people. Because look at the way we behave today. Look at the foolishness that goes on. People who have been at it, and I'm going to add this now because I have evidence to prove it. People who have been made, quote unquote, citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, not adopting to the Bahamian way of life. In fact, even Bahamians themselves are adopting a different kind of lifestyle, a different way of doing things, instead of keeping the traditions that we have always had, which has been passed from one generation to the next. We call it old-fashioned. You know the games that we used to play as children? I remember a whole army of them. Look what the children are doing today. They don't even play those games. So where they gone? They have adopted something else from some other culture, from some other people. And those things that are genuinely Bahamian, which we've had for many, many years, have been pushed to the side. And I heard one teacher mentioning how good these quote-unquote things are, and that teacher doesn't have any understanding of Bahamian things, but that's what they say. So when we push aside those things which the nation was built upon, and just shove them to the side, we forget our history, we forget what we used to do, then all these funny things come in here and we have problems. That's why we all mixed up today. Even conch salad and all ain't what conch salad it used to be. Because there are people who come here, they want to change the whole thing. Why are we making people citizens in the Bahamas to change the Bahamian way of life? We have to safeguard it. We have to protect it. And so if we don't do that, then we're going to have, at some point, it's going to come extinct. And so the Bahamas, as we know it today, I mean, we're losing a whole lot now. We're going to have to move very quickly to protect what is out. That's why I'm delighted that you have these shows on Mondays. I could come in and do what I have to do and help the Bahamian people, because this is a labor of love for the Bahamian people. And much more is going to be done beside the show that's on every month.
Okay. All right. The telephone number is to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages only 8010271. We are talking Constitution today on this Masterclass Monday. And of course, our professor is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson, who every Monday comes here to help us break down this thing called the Bahamas Constitution at a level that a 6-year-old can understand. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue discussing Article 10 of the Constitution. Stay with us.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here along with Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson, and we are in the midst of another Masterclass Monday on the Constitution of the Bahamas. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages and text messages only, 8010271, 8010271. So we are in Article 10, which deals with a woman who marries a Bahamian, or one who becomes a Bahamian. Yeah,
yes.
and we're breaking that down as to what exactly that means. Does the status, let's talk about the status of the woman. What
Yes.
what must be the status of the woman for her to qualify as
She
it
must
relates to
be
this?
married at that time to a Bahamian or one who has become a Bahamian.
in order to
Oh, yes.
apply?
Oh, yes. Just in
Now,
order to
does she
apply.
have to apply, or is it automatic?
In this article,
Yeah.
no, it's not automatic.
Okay.
See, you have to meet the applying qualifications. And I think that's why I say people don't pay attention to detail.
Right.
Because you're going to find that in some of these articles, there are time limits, some longer than others.
Right.
And if you don't meet those qualifying standards for citizenship under that particular article,
Mm-hmm.
you don't qualify. You shouldn't have it.
Okay.
Because, see, once we start circumventing and making up our own rules as we go along,
Mm-hmm.
it's a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately, that's why the country is in the chaos it is today.
Mhm.
We have not been paying attention to the detail. Like I said, we got some people just suddenly appearing, demanding that they're citizens. Somebody said something in one court somewhere, and all of a sudden, the whole time, people rushed down, crowded those civil servants, say they want citizenship. And I tell people, the decision of a court can make a decision based on the Constitution or not on the Constitution.
Okay.
A court can, well, the personality in that particular issue could present his legal opinion of the law.
Mm-hmm.
A legal opinion of the law is not law. There's a vast difference between the two. Just like,
When you say a personality, you mean a judge?
oh, yes, a judge can make his own opinion. You know, some people try to make law from the bench. Because I was asked a question about Jane Charles and Jane Roney. And sure, what the fellow's supposed to be named anyhow?
Mm-hmm.
And I went on there and I said, the ruling of the judge, that is his legal opinion of the law. It's not constitutional law. 3 days later, the Attorney General said the same thing, and they took it to court and they won. The appeals court overturned it.
Okay.
See, there's a difference between you have a right to your opinion. I'm not going to get into that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I come on the show, my personal opinions have nothing to do with the Constitution, except the fact that the Constitution says Professor Thompson has a right to his opinion. But in this case, where I'm speaking about the Constitution, I have to give people the facts as they stand. I don't want people to ask me, what is my opinion of that? Because I'm not here to express opinions. I'm here to give you exactly and precisely as I know it, what the law says, because the Constitution is supreme, not Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. And people need to separate that. Not because a minister of the government says something, it's automatic. It could be his opinion, and sometimes you ain't sure whether the person is speaking individually, as a member of the particular grouping that they're in, or some other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So people have a right to their opinion. So I'm not even going to get into the issue with opinions, because the woman in Baintown with them 5 boys, she got an opinion too, and her boys got opinion. But what we have to understand is, what does the law say? So every time when I look at law now, these statute laws that they're making, and they got to do plenty changing in those statute laws. plenty changes. You know why? Because they're unconstitutional. They go against the very grain of the standards set out in the Constitution. And Article 2 tells you plainly, if any other law, to the extent it goes contrary to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, that is null and void. That portion or that section, in fact, it could be the entire law that is null and void. But if you don't know your Constitution, how you can know?
Mm-hmm.
You can't use another statute law to judge it. The Constitution is the supreme law where you make a determination. Is it constitutional? The first thing that comes to my mind, is it constitutional, yes or no? If it isn't constitutional, then I know ain't nothing to that. You could push that aside, just throw that away.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it might have gone and some people put some seals on it and put stamp and everything on it, that's just procedure.
Right.
But it means nothing.
Okay.
So that's why we have to understand how important knowing your Constitution. And then here's another thing. Let me just add this point. You can assist your government. You can assist your parliamentarian to make better decisions for the benefit of the government of the Bahamas and for the constituents in that particular constituency. But we have to look at the bigger picture, not for one ham and one turkey or one bag of candies. Come on. Or for one little job, or for a couple of dollars, or a bottle of rum. We don't understand how important this Constitution is, but they're going to get it. I can make sure they get it. So we can make the changes that are essential and necessary to build the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
All right. Now, getting back to Article 10, what is the pivotal date for such a marriage?
The pivotal date is...
Would that be the 9th of July?
9th of July.
73.
1973, yeah.
Okay. And why is that such an important date as it relates to this?
That is important because July the 10th is when we became a nation.
Mm-hmm.
And everything from there on out, that's why they said after July the 9th. Not July 9th is still a colony.
Right.
After July 9th comes July 10th. Bang, you become a nation.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the spot.
Okay.
So that's when the Constitution came into effect.
Okay.
That's why I'm happy that they put it that way, you know. That's why you have to pay attention to these dates.
So somebody who would have, a woman who would have married a Bahamian man prior to that date, what would she have to do in order to qualify to become a Bahamian citizen?
I think there's another article that applies for her.
Okay.
Because the Bahamian man marrying that woman prior to.
Right.
Yeah. That
coming a little later on.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that we already covered that, by the way.
We already covered that?
Yeah, we covered that, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because remember now, in the British system, the woman follows her husband.
Yeah, see, this whole thing caused a lot of controversy because the question was if that could apply for the Bahamian man, why doesn't it apply for the Bahamian woman? So, and you just touched on it.
But I just want to comment briefly on it.
Before you do, we have a cell phone caller, and then I can let you comment on that.
Yeah,
Caller,
definitely.
welcome to GPS.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Professor.
Hi, how are you?
It's good to hear you hanging in there.
Thank you.
Yeah, Professor,
Yes, ma'am.
I was inspired to say this. I didn't want to detract from what you're saying, but it's in line with it. And then, well, I was inspired by the Lord to say that some time ago, he said 90% of the people that come from the South Corridor came here wrong.
No, I didn't quite get that.
Almost like, 90%.
Okay.
Of the people coming from the South, our neighbors from the South, came here wrong. He said that to me like several years ago.
Okay.
And I was shocked because I was like, how could that be in a country like ours? We're supposed to be monitoring. And that's how I know we're practicing slackness.
Yes,
More
ma'am.
than that, but that was in tune with with showing me that. And what you're saying is like more than food for thought, is like proof. I was thinking just coming here stealthily, that's what they were doing. But the way that they're staying, or the way that they're being encouraged to stay, is it's mind-boggling. But from what the embassy, the head of the Haitian embassy said the other day, of it being contrary to what our numbers are supposed to be displaying, 150,000. 90% of that is 135,000. I understand why Bahamians are more than frustrated, angry, and have been angry for years now. And in keeping with what the Lord is showing, that is wrong and wrong practice. When you steal something, reaping from that kind of action, what kind of reaping you're going to get from a negative action?
Caller, I hate to interrupt you, but with all due respect, you're taking us in a different
Yeah,
direction.
no, I understand. And so I'm going to go, Michelle, respect to you and respect to your show. But I'm just saying, and that's only one race of people. The next race, the Orientals, they're coming into this land in numbers that are not being recorded or counted, because for some reason we don't like to count. We don't like to take data. And when they're advised to take data, it's like it's going in one ear, not even going in the ears and coming out the other ears. They're ignoring it. And so that is something that our people are frustrated over. I feel it. I'm a Bahamian, and I know it's not right.
Okay, thank you so
And
much for
so
calling.
thank you for the time, and
Right.
praise the Lord.
Okay. All right. You had a statement you wanted to make prior to the call about this whole question of how come what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander.
Yeah, I think there are some people who may have these frustrations,
Mm-hmm.
but the Constitution answers the questions. All these frustrations that the Bahamians have.
Does it?
Oh, it does. It certainly does.
What's the
Listen,
Constitution answer for that
what,
question?
What I have found, and see, some people may ask, okay, they say something about the man, they say something about the woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there are some who got this concept in their head that there's an inequality. I want to tell the Bahamian people, regardless of how you may feel, the Constitution is always right. It
Mm-hmm.
is never, ever wrong. Make sure I put that deep into the recesses of your mind. Constitution can be changed. There's a way to change it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things and we have to do as Bahamians, and I think we're going to get to that article eventually,
Okay.
where some very basic fundamental things have to be done by the Bahamian people. You don't have to have no frustration.
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution forbids frustration. No man, woman, or child shall ever have their lives frustrated by deprivation. That was to stop July the 10th, 1973.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been no frustration.
I think we failed there, but anyhow,
But
go
we
ahead.
have failed. Because we have not been following the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
We got labor problems. We're not following the Constitution on labor issues.
Mm.
That's why. Now it also talks about men and women. No man or woman or child shall ever be a slave or bondsman
Right.
to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been resolved in this country? See, these are the things we need to start thinking about. So you may be frustrated on some things, yes. I get a little agitated too, but I just happen to know better than most people. But my job is to help you to understand that you can change what is happening in this country. God is with us. He's there to help us. Do we want his help? We want help from them other fellas who say they got best practices. And when you look at them, it's something else again.
Mm.
But the Constitution answers all of these frustrations that people have. In fact, I'm amazed to see what that Constitution says we need to do and what we can do to bring change. And people are just sitting there, oh, they doing this, they doing that. No. What is it that you are doing to change the situation? Because change is within the power of your hand.
Now, you started to say something, Professor, about the British way of
Yes.
thinking.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. See, prior to, well, it still is that way. The woman marries the man, she follows the man. So now there's some who's saying, well, she's a woman, the man could bring her in, the woman could bring her husband in. You can't have two men in one house. You can have big fight. You look at all those nations where that is happening, all they got is big fight. We are not to adopt that because the woman is to be subject to her husband. That's a biblical principle that we agreed to go by as a nation. It doesn't mean the woman is inferior. If a Bahamian woman goes and marry that German man, go with the German man. Why are you gonna come in her pa house to beat up her pa and her brothers?
He ain't gotta come to the house, take it up their own house.
No.
Why?
His house is where he came from.
Man, y'all gotta stop this, man. It is my opinion that needs to be changed.
Now notice what you just said.
My opinion. I know.
I'm not knocking your opinion.
I know that ain't what the Constitution say. I'm just saying that we need to look at the Constitution when we're looking at making amendments to the Constitution and consider that. Because my opinion, not the Constitution, my opinion is that when this Constitution was written, it was a different time, it was a different context in which it was written. And that whole concept of the woman got to follow the husband wherever he from and all this kind of stuff. I just think that in this day and age, that's nonsense. But anyhow, go ahead.
That is a biblical concept. Remember now.
But again, look at the context in which it was written and the culture at that time.
The biblical context doesn't change, man. It's for all ages. That's God's standard. The man is the head of the woman.
He could be the head in another country than the country he was born in. Right? He could be the head. He could be the head wherever they go.
Not in a powerhouse.
The head.
That's going to be
the headship ain't got nothing to do with location or geography.
If I could tell you this, when Laban had what's his name? Who was there? I think it was Jacob. Jacob couldn't say that he married the man's daughters, right? Mm-hmm. And there was big friction with the brothers. But he had to leave. He couldn't stay there. You can't have two men in one house.
But why you keep saying one house? Like everybody got to be living in the same house?
Because that's the nature of people.
I don't understand, Professor.
But
I'm sorry.
But Miss Malcolm, even now, you look at the families. Look at the deterioration of God's standard when God says, honor mommy and daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Do we do that? When we get a certain age, we think we're man and woman.
And at that point, you're going to get your own house.
But okay, fine. And so what
we have a call on the line. I just think it is very, very sexist for you to tell me that a man could go to any place and pick up anything off the street, woman.
No, I'm not saying that.
And I'm just saying, and bring her to this country, and she entitled to citizenship because she married him. But we could go get a rocket scientist from another country as a woman. But anyhow, we have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Boy, y'all got a good boy. You all want to give up this privilege?
Y'all having a good time. It's a good time.
Welcome to the
show. Reality is the Constitution should be balanced. As it relates to women, should it be with man. You know, if a woman brings a man in the country and she marry him, she love him, and that's her man. And like Mr. Thompson say, well, the man is the head of the home. That's the Bible.
Yeah, but he could be the head anywhere. That ain't got nothing to do with geography.
You don't want to accept that.
Huh?
You don't want to accept that.
What you mean?
The man is the head of the home.
I don't understand that argument as it relates to this because
it's not an argument, it's biblical.
I don't understand that concept as it relates to this because you're trying to tell me the only place he could be the head of his home is in the country in which he was born?
No, the only place he'd be the head of the home is he home with his wife.
And y'all gotta stop this foolishness.
regardless to what country.
Y'all need to stop this sexist foolishness.
And if
I'm
a
sorry.
woman bring a man in the country, she should have the right that her husband be a citizen if she love him and she want him to be.
But she
And
doesn't, according to our constitution, eh? And that's what I'm arguing for. I'm saying that I don't understand why it is that this could relate to a woman. And when I say relate to a woman, listen, man.
But the woman of the privilege, they have first advantage.
What?
The woman of the privilege.
What you mean?
They are more advanced than us. Furthermore, my sister, she married a boy from Canada, right?
Uh-huh.
And she had the right to bring her husband, but to be a Bahamian.
Does she, Professor, according to our constitution? No, she does not. He says no.
No, but guess what? That's what you gotta understand. She being a Bahamian, her children are Bahamians.
Are they? According to the professor, not according to our constitution.
See, this is
According to the Constitution, Article 10, which you're talking about right now.
Uh-huh. That ain't saying nothing but children. That say she, as a foreign woman, could marry a Bahamian man and get citizenship. That's what Article 10 says.
Right. But
ain't saying nothing but children.
and what's the result?
Huh?
And what's the result?
What you mean?
So the children are not citizens?
Yeah, but you're talking about a Bahamian woman marrying a foreign man. This article is talking about a foreign woman marrying a Bahamian man. There's two different things.
Two different things.
No, a foreign woman.
Yeah.
No.
That's what Article 10 talking about.
That's an extension or probably a way of amendment, a debate in those assembly, that'll be debated.
No, it'll have to go to referendum. It'll have to go to referendum.
No referendum.
No, wouldn't that have to go to referendum?
I heard what you said earlier, and you said something serious, Miss Malcolm.
Right.
You know, you said when the laws was orchestrated, when it was construed from the 1963 laws, that was old. That was 1973. Now we're in a new time. So the thing is, do this brave Davis administration need to go into a referendum? Where we gonna go?
Well, that's a waste of time.
Where we gonna go? I
That's
know.
a waste of time.
We can vote no. I know how we go.
To me, but thank you for calling, though, caller.
Yeah,
I just think that, and again, this is my opinion, not the Constitution. This is my opinion on the Constitution.
Yes, you have
I just think it is very sexist because you're trying to tell me that the reason why this exists the way that it is, a man could go any place, he could go on the street, he could go in the red letter district, pick up on skank who's selling a body, bring her back to the country, call her his wife, and she automatically gets Bahamian citizenship after she applies because she married a Bahamian man. But no matter what quality of man a Bahamian woman marries, if they decide to make their abode in the Bahamas, he doesn't have that same privilege. I just think that's very sexist.
No, but you have to go according to the Constitution.
I understand that.
Law.
I understand that.
Regardless,
make sure you're talking to that microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The thing is that people have feelings and emotions. That's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But I always say to people, the Constitution is never, ever wrong. It is always right. Now, you might disagree with it. That's fine. You disagree with it. I don't disagree with anything in the Constitution.
Yeah, but you yourself said that certain articles need to be amended.
Yes, they do.
Right.
I agree with you.
Right.
Because the circumstances have happened over the last 50 years.
Right.
Which requires amendment.
But you don't think this one requires amendment as it relates to the Bahamian woman being able to pass on citizenship to her husband?
Well,
in your opinion, I'm asking your opinion. I'm not asking you what the Constitution says. I'm asking your opinion.
I think I can withdraw from opinion.
Boy,
goes contrary to what I said earlier.
When you got privilege, ladies, they ain't giving up that privilege easily. We can take a break on that one. Yeah, this is a problem. This is a problem. Anyway, let's take this commercial break. I digress. Let's take this commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be continuing to look at the Constitution. It says, after break, stay with us as a GPS.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here, along with Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. And we are breaking down the Constitution of the Bahamas, line by line, article by article, to help you to better understand what is the supreme law of the land. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 260-271, 3260272, 3260272, and our WhatsApp line for text messages only 801-0271, 801-0271. All right. I have a commenter on Facebook. Claudette says, I'm married to a Bahamian man for 28 years now with a son, which is 28, and I haven't gotten citizenship because they said I have to apply for it. I have permanent residence and yet have to apply for citizenship. According to our Constitution, Claudette, yes, you do.
You have to. That's the law. That's the supreme law.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I'd like to say is that with certain persons, they may not like certain things. Fine.
Right.
I don't want to even get into that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to deal with these frustrations that we have now,
Mm-hmm.
we need a government that's going to deal with the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas.
Right.
If we write scraps of things on pieces of paper and say we're going to run things by that, we can always have problems.
Mm.
So Bahamians have to understand the Constitution does need some changes.
Mhm.
I'll be the first one to say that. But the point is, if you don't know this document well enough to make the appropriate changes, you could lead on a garden path
Right.
to destruction. So my contribution at this point is, and I can make this a very strong contribution, to
Mhm.
make sure that the average Bahamian has a basic fundamental understanding of that Constitution. So when the time comes to make some changes, because we will have to do it, they can make sound decisions and good judgments.
Mhm.
So all these frustrations will melt away once you understand what the Constitution says. The Constitution, see, I don't want a Constitution, Ms. Malcolm, that I can put in my back pocket, rip it out, pull it out. Oh, I got it under control. No, no, no. I want a Constitution that is fair to all people in the country. Now, I'm not talking about people who say they don't like this, they don't like that. Because you can't have a Constitution like that.
Right.
The Constitution we have today is a wonderful document. I've had the privilege to study constitutional law. And Ms. Malcolm, even today when I was going and preparing for the show,
Mhm.
I myself was amazed at some things that I'm looking at. I've been looking at these for years.
Now, you said something during the break, or a little discussion during the break that I find very interesting, that is
ma'am.
relative to what this whole thing is.
Yes.
When I was saying that, this whole argument about two men can't be in the same house, and
Yes.
and
Only one man could be in that.
and my foreign husband could come, and we ain't got to be living in my parents' house. We could have our own house. You made a very important
Our
point.
house is the Bahamas.
Hmm.
He has his own house. Go back to Germany, go back to China, go back to England where you came from. You see why God, see, Ms. Malcolm, here's the point. God separated the people and put them in their own nation.
Hmm.
You're a Haitian, you stay in Haiti.
Closer to the microphone. Mhm.
You are a Cuban, you stay in Cuba. I'm a Bahamian, you stay in the Bahamas. You born in the United States, that's where you belong.
I gotta be. I can challenge you on that, because he sent Abraham to a land he did not know.
Because
So go
Yeah,
ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
Oh.
Explain that.
because see, God chose a spot to set that nation up, the nation of Israel,
Right.
to be an example to the world. And God gave them what? The land of Palestine. But they got kicked out of the land of Palestine.
No, but I'm just saying that based on what you just said. If you from Germany, your house is Germany, so stay in Germany. I mean,
Yes. See, God called Abraham to do something special, to build a nation.
So suppose he
To
called
honor
my
him.
German husband to do something special in the Bahamas.
We got to check scripture on that one. There's the scriptures to support that.
Boy, listen, y'all got a whole lot
See,
of
God has
privilege,
already
boy.
set up the nations.
Yeah, but that
He
don't
gave
mean
them
that
their
that don't
territory.
mean that he can't use somebody from one nation to impact another nation, and in fact
I'm
the
not
world
saying
from
that he
that
may
second
not.
nation.
That may be so.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dispute that. I think there's evidence to prove that.
Right.
But when you have this influx of people coming in, like some people from the South, right?
Mm-hmm.
Line them up on our shores. We have covered this be on Article 10 now.
Yeah.
And we have seen no evidence in this Constitution to support it. And I challenge anyone who's been following these shows from the day you started, from day one with the preamble, straight on through.
Mhm.
We did up to 9, now we're on 10. There is absolutely nothing in those articles on citizenship and immigration that says these people have an automatic right to be here.
Yeah, I get that.
Nothing.
I get that. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue on with this Article 10.
Article 10, yes.
Now it talks about certain provisions. What is the first provision in this article, and what must happen?
The first provision in the article.
Yeah, you want me to read the article
Yeah,
again?
read it again for me. Yeah.
Okay, any woman who after 9 July 1973 marries a person who is or becomes a citizen of the Bahamas shall be entitled, provided she is still so married upon making application in such manner as may be prescribed, and upon taking the oath of allegiance or such declaration as may be prescribed, to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas.
Yes. Now, the thing is that a key phrase right in there, still so married.
Right.
That's key to
Mhm.
that particular person.
Right.
That means if she's not, then she doesn't qualify.
So explain, is there a time limit on the still has to be married situation? Let's say, okay, this article, from what I'm understanding, this article does not have a time limit, does it?
No, not Article 10, no.
Right. So if this doesn't have a time limit, let's say they were married for 25 years and she didn't within that time apply for this application, apply to become a citizen based on the fact that she's married to a Bahamian man, because she figured the marriage was going to last forever. And after 25 years, they have irreconcilable differences and they decide to part ways.
Yes.
She's no longer entitled to apply.
Remember now, notice that key phrase in there.
Mm-hmm.
Still married to the man.
Right.
Once she's out of that,
so if
she
they
cannot
get
qualify.
a divorce, dog, he told her she got to go back to where she come from.
She finished on that one.
Wow. No matter how long they were
No
or were
matter.
not married.
Doesn't matter. No, I agree with you. The Constitution in that article doesn't put a time limit.
Right.
We have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
So it means then, as long as she meets those qualifying standards, right, she would be entitled to citizenship in the country.
Mm-hmm. So, in your opinion, is that what protects from what do you call it? Marriages of convenience? It wouldn't even protect against that, though, because
No, it wouldn't, because see, it doesn't really specifically speak to that. We don't have any articles that I know of that specifically speaks to that in that way.
Mm-hmm.
What I do know is that the Constitution gives us certain principles we as citizens ought to go by.
Mm-hmm.
And if we make bad choices, then we're going to have some terrible issues that are going to confront us.
I believe that if you look at the United States, for an example, in order for them to avoid marriages of convenience, you have to be married to that person for a certain period of time
Mm-hmm.
before you can
get
qualify
citizenship.
for citizenship.
Yeah.
Do you think that our Constitution needs to be amended to reflect the same?
That's a possibility. I would go along with that if the Bahamian people agree to it. Because see, like I said, that there are some things in there that need to be changed
Mm-hmm.
to reflect the times in which we live.
Right.
But I say to people that these are the things we ought to be dealing with at the constituency level and at the national level.
Mm-hmm.
But too many times we allow these issues to just ride on, and we got all kinds of problems because we're not speaking to our representatives. We're not speaking to the government of Bahamas. If you do not know the Constitution, how are you going to correct the government of Bahamas? It's the duty of the citizenry of this country to correct a representative in that House of Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not correcting themselves. It is the duty of the citizenry of this country to correct a government when it goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed the other day they jump on what one agency was talking about our financial standing, and a particular minister just was gloating and raving over that. And then just early in this year, when that same agency made some remarks about our financial standing, all of a sudden the attitude was different.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you're going to listen to what these people are saying, and you respect them, and you think what they're saying is true, you're not going to always get someone to keep patting you on the back when you're doing foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen. I know I've been taught many decades ago that the hardest thing for a human being to do is to admit error and change.
Mm.
Carnal nature doesn't allow you to do it. I got to fight this every day.
Right.
So if somebody asks me something and I don't know, I will say, I have to look into it. I don't know what the real answer to that is. But the point is, we have to learn to be submissive. We have to learn to listen. We have to learn to take correction. because we're not always going to be right. Now, the Constitution is always right. I'm not deviating from that because that's the supreme law. However, changes can be made to that law. We have to do it now. You see the articles about the Queen? There's a gap there.
Right.
We have a whole line of articles referring to the Queen. Are we going to leave it just like that? And the Queen is not here anymore? Our Parliament consists of Her Majesty the Queen. That's one. 2, a Senate. 3, a House of Assembly. That's in the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Ireland. You got to make some changes. So some of these things that may be hindering or hurting some people, we have to look at it objectively.
Right.
And say, yes, we have to make some changes. Not because someone out there tell us, pushing us in a direction we don't want to go.
Right.
Someone purporting to be something which is a fraud. And they say, this is what you must do. I say no to that. That's why we have to go back to what our purpose of a nation is. Do not move away from those foundational stones, because once you do that, your whole nation will crumble. So we have to fix that.
Okay. So we talked about the first provision. What is the second provision? I'll read the second half of 10 again. It says, provided that the right to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under this article shall be subject to such exceptions or qualifications as may be prescribed in the interest of national security or public policy.
Now, you will notice, Ms. Malcolm, we have seen a number of articles
that say that.
That say that.
Right.
There's a reason for that. The founding fathers wanted to do the best they possibly could to protect this nation. And I believe they wanted the guidance and influence of God in putting this thing together. And remember now, they had the white paper. First they had the green paper, then the white paper. And a lot of people made input, including my own parents and my grandparents, into that document called the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We were not all in London to sit at the table. We had our representatives there. All I'm saying is, if you understand this document and the hard work, and there are some who are putting this lie over saying, oh, the British just pushed something in our hand and say, you all go with that. It didn't happen that way. We failed to respect the hard work of our mothers and fathers. Thank God I was there to see it happen. Okay? They work hard. They wanted a nation under God. They didn't want anything to do just without God. God must be the center of this nation. Now, we got to make some changes in the way we do things. And I'm saying that when we look at the Constitution, yes, because of some changing of time, when it says any woman, and it has that in the Constitution a number of times more than any man, I am saying that we have to protect the original intent of why this document was set up. If we just leave it like that, Article 7.1, which has been used by personalities who were given the responsibility to govern the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in the best interest of the Bahamian people. It's been abused. We know that. So we're going to leave it just the way it is?
You know, it's interesting that you said that. I found a clip. I won't be able to play it on this particular show because I didn't download it to be played on this show. But I found a clip with A.D. Hanna talking about this whole idea of the Constitution's preamble as it relates to abiding respect for Christian values.
Yes.
And his opinion was that it does not say that we are a Christian nation, that we would have been the laughing stock of the world had we tried to say that the Bahamas is a Christian nation. I wish I had downloaded that clip for today's show. I didn't think to do so, but for a future show I will, so we can hear what he had to say.
Now, I respect Arthur Dion Hanna, who's one of the founding fathers.
Right.
That is his opinion. I'm prepared to go hardcore with what's in the document. Now, Unfortunately, they didn't write notes from those early days and gave that to the Bahamian people so we could see what they were really thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect, if you play the clip and what he says, I respect what he would say.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, we have the Constitution. We have to go by that.
Mm-hmm.
Until it changes, until the Bahamian people decide to change it, that's a whole lot of a different color.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that preamble ain't gonna change. Not when it comes to Bahamian people.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's an opinion, by the way. But the point is, that is your foundation stone. You move that today tomorrow. You're talking about being the laughing stock of the world. The world can't save us. The world can't protect us. When you see those storms be building up and how many times God has protected the Commonwealth of the Bahamas from those raging waves out there, what will those nations do for us when we get run over? What they could do for us? Nothing. Just say them poor people down there in the Bahamas. Look what happened to them.
Mm.
We need God's protection. We had it this year. And God knows what he's doing. He intervenes in the affairs of men. We have men and women who are praying every single day to God to protect this country, to help the government of the Bahamas to do better, even though sometimes they disappoint you badly. But we are praying people, and they are working and doing the best they possibly can to make sure that we are safe as a nation. We don't want any internal interaction. We don't want external interactions.
Mm-hmm.
We want a safe, peaceful country. And let me say this, Ms. Malcolm, the nature of the Bahamian psyche is a peaceful one, even from slavery days.
Right.
We never had this breakup and violent and overthrow like how it is with some people south of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the Bahamian spirit. So people can tell me now certain things are happening, and I would say to them, no. That's not the Bahamian attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to try to do what we can to protect this country, to make it safe. Because I got all kind of pigeons behind me. They want a better country. And I can see to it that they have it.
All right. The telephone number is to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260271, or 3260272, 3260272. Those are the numbers to call. And the WhatsApp line for text messages only is 8010271, 8010271. This is a Masterclass Monday. Is that a call with the show? No. This is a Masterclass Monday. We're talking with Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson, about the Constitution of the Bahamas. And we are currently in Article 10 of the Constitution. So we go back to this whole question of the importance of national security.
Yes.
To a nation or a country. Yeah. And like you pointed out, it keeps coming up.
It keeps coming up. And I am delighted that the founding fathers did that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, they were thinking about this nation. And there were some persons who were close to God, who gave them guidance. And they, at that time, listened to them.
Right.
But when you move away from what God says, you're asking for plenty of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at the nations that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And see the kind of problems they have. And unfortunately, we allow those nations to tag us in with some strange things that are happening in those other countries, which have nothing to do with the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That is why I say, Ms. Malcolm, these quote-unquote international agreements that have been signed, I'm now in the process of digging deep into them. And once I have my team and others who are working with me to simplify the CEDAW Convention and these other things that have been signed, which the Bahamian people know nothing about. How could we sign something? You ain't consult with the Bahamian people. You ain't ask them nothing. But one or two people sitting behind one table got one pen and say, be signing this for the Bahamian people. And don't know what they're signing. They don't even know the Constitution. They don't know Article 2. So we run into problems with Malcolm. And when I hear the Minister of Education saying, and the Director of Education saying, we have to do this because we signed that. And then I say to myself, are you going to do something that is detrimental to the best interest of the Bahamian people because someone made a mistake, I'm being nice about that now, and wrote their signature to something or penned the signature of the Bahamian people to something which they didn't understand, not knowing the Constitution, because plenty of them don't know it, never studied it, never read it, but it's signed in paper. And this, Ms. Malcolm, this caused problems. And so we find ourselves in a situation, but you signed this. And then you got these other people come pushing you and say, you signed it, so you got to do it. That's the problem.
Okay, we got to take a break. When we come back, we are going to turn our attention to Article 11. I think we have sufficiently covered 10.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll turn our attention to Article of the Constitution on the other side of the break. Stay with us. It is a Masterclass Monday, and we will be back after these words from our sponsors.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted loud.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
We are back. Welcome back to Cheapy. Professor, I have our own little thing going on here in the studio. We're having our own little conversation here. Very interesting indeed. Telephone numbers to call on this Masterclass Monday, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, WhatsApp 8010271 for text messages only. Returning our attention now to Article 11 of the Constitution, which reads,
I think it's 11.1.
11.1. If the Governor General is satisfied that any citizen of the Bahamas has at any time after 9th July 1973 acquired by registration, naturalization, or other voluntary and formal act other than marriage the citizenship of any other country,
Yes.
the Governor General may by order deprive that person of his citizenship. I can read this again
Yeah,
because
that's important.
I just saw a news report the other day that sort of contradicts what this is saying. We
Yes,
can
it
talk
does.
about that.
It certainly does.
Let me read this again.
Yeah, read it again.
Article 11.1 says, if the Governor General is satisfied that any citizen of the Bahamas has at any time after 9th July 1973 acquired by registration, naturalization, or other voluntary and formal act other than marriage, the citizenship of any other country,
Yes.
the Governor General may, by order, deprive that person of his citizenship.
Very interesting.
Now, you're talking about the Governor General of Bahamas, right? Could
Yes.
deprive that person of their Bahamian
Yes.
citizenship if they take the citizenship of another country. That's what it's saying, right?
That's what it's saying. Yeah.
Okay, but I just saw on the news last week where it said that the government of the Turks and Caicos Islands is inviting Bahamians with roots in TCI who are interested to apply for citizenship in TCI because they're looking to expand their population. And I saw our Minister of Foreign Affairs, at least I think it was his voice that they used,
Yeah.
with a graphic. And he, in essence, said that we don't have a problem with that because TCI was once a part of the Bahamas. And so in such a case, you know, we don't have a problem with the dual citizenship, but just understand that if you intend to run for parliament, you can't hold both.
No,
Now,
that in itself is a contradiction. The minister is dead wrong.
Is he wrong with regard to
He's
that?
wrong. He's totally wrong. The Constitution doesn't support duality of citizenship. See, this is why we have problems in this country. Now, who's the we? It's certainly in the Constitution. It may be in a circle of people surrounding that particular individual, but it's not constitutional. And see, that's what gets me angry. But people who are supposed to be governing what? In the best interest of Bahamian. If the Turks Island people want to do that over there, that's their thing. But we have to protect our interests, and that's the problem. Who's the we who will have a problem with it? Who are they? It certainly is not constitutional. This Constitution does not support duality of citizenship, and we have several articles to prove it. But that's his view. He is entitled to his view. He is entitled to his opinion. You can't make people's opinion law. So who's the we? Ms. Malcolm, you see why we have problems in this country? I'm glad you heard it. And I'm glad you were able to pick up on it. That's why I tell the Bahamian people, watch what the government of the Bahamas is doing in this country. Watch them. And then you have the power in your hand to correct that government when it steps out of line. Nonsense and foolishness. Who's the we? But this is the way we have been doing for the last 50 years. That's no wonder why we got problems in this place. You can't put the Constitution in your back pocket and pull it out and say, there's a little funny book. I work with it today, and then tomorrow I'm checking for it, just throw it in the garbage. That's the way we've treated our supreme law, Miss Malcolm. That is wrong. That's why this country is so divided. You ain't got no problem with it. Or who the we is, it certainly ain't me. And it ain't constitutional. I know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, if we have persons in the government of the Bahamas who could carelessly handle a situation like that, the Bahamian people ought to know what to do.
And what is that?
Article 24.1 tells you that we as citizens of this country have a right to protect our interests. And if the governor of the Bahamas is not doing it, then the people need to take action to make sure that it is done, either by them or by somebody else. See, the problem is, Malcolm, I'm glad you brought this up, because it then brings me to the basic point I wanted to say early in the show.
Mhm.
The point is, you have to be very careful of the people you send to represent you in your particular constituency, because those individuals, some of them will comprise the government of the Bahamas. The Constitution is so set up where the representative of a particular constituency has to work with the government of the Bahamas to have things done for his constituents in that particular constituency. See what's happening in Lutra now about the water?
Mhm.
Okay, that's a typical example where a minister, it's a man, a minister in the government, raised in hell with another minister. And I'm not knocking him for that. He has a right because he's also a representative in the House of Assembly.
Mhm.
He's an MP. That's his first responsibility, to look after his constituents. But the point is, people get this thing all mixed up when they got the cloak of a minister. Huh? The first duty of the representative is to deal with the constituents in that particular constituency. And if the government of Bahamas is going to take that kind of attitude, they're dead wrong. It's unconstitutional.
Mhm.
If the people in Turks Island want to do it, that's their thing. We can't get into that. We have to protect ourselves. Everybody looking out for their interests at the expense of Bahamian people. At the expense of Bahamian people. And we can't see that.
So let me ask you something. 11.2 says, if the Governor General is satisfied that any citizen of the Bahamas has at any time after 9th July 1973 voluntarily claimed and exercised in any other country any rights available to him under the law of that country, being rights accorded exclusively to the citizens, the Governor General may, by order, deprive that person of his citizenship. So, what is the message that is very clear, in your opinion, in Article 1 and 2?
The message is crystal clear that dual citizenship is not accepted.
So, how would the Governor General be able to prove that that person has received, voluntarily claimed, exercised in another country?
Well, a case has to be brought up so it could be considered by the Governor General.
So what would that case entail?
So what it means is, see, we have people doing all kind of funny things in this place, you know, and getting away with it, right? So it has to be brought to his attention because the Constitution says he has to be satisfied. I don't have a problem with that. That's the Constitution.
So I'm asking, what would that satisfaction be based on? When you say somebody has to bring up a case, what would they have to present in that case for the Governor General to be able to move upon this article?
We will have to bring the evidence to him about this person or those persons, that he can examine it, he can look at it, he can see it.
And what does that evidence, I'm trying to figure out, what is that evidence that will
evidence
give
of
him
what
grounds?
The Constitution says, right? That they're in breach of the Constitution.
Would you have to have a copy of that person's passport from the other country? What does that evidence look like?
Malcolm, whatever it takes to prove your point in Articles 11.1 and 11.2. That is very serious business because you have some people doing all kind of funny things. And they believe they could get away with it, but it's never reported. So if we as citizens of this country, it takes more than the Governor General to protect the interests of the country. We have to appeal to him because the Constitution says that he is to be satisfied. So we have to bring the evidence to him for his consideration.
But ain't nobody gonna bring evidence on their own self. So somebody else is going to have to do that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Ms. Malcolm.
Right.
You expect them to do it? You expect the thief
No.
to say he's a thief?
So that's why I'm asking the question.
I'm glad you asked the question. just like every other thing that has to be dealt with, you have to deal with evidence, hardcore evidence of what is going on, not speculation, not supposition, not rumor, not hearsay.
Right.
And sometimes, Malcolm, it takes time to dig deep. Because I could tell you of a particular situation, and I'm going to say it this way, about a particular personality very high up in this country. The evidence is very strong, very hard, right to the point. I have it in my possession. But I'm speaking to the particular individual who gave the evidence to me. And I said, what are you going to do about it? You can move it on for the kill. But this particular person is sitting up there in a very high office, and here is something that is totally contrary to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. See, people are supposed to have credibility.
You're saying this person has dual citizenship?
But not on that particular
Allegedly.
point. But
on another point?
No. It's a different situation.
Okay.
Not dual citizenship.
Okay.
But I'm just simply saying that when you look at these particular persons, you look for credibility.
Right.
You look for honesty. And then you have rank in discipline. See, the Constitution talks about national commitment to self-discipline.
We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You know, this happens every day with dual citizenship. You have a U.S. passport and you have a Bahamian passport. But what you do when you leave New Providence, you leave here with your U.S. passport because you're going home. And when you're leaving the United States, you leave with your Bahamian passport because you're going home. And customs and those see that every day, Miss Malcolm. It happens. I mean, it happens every day. So I'm wondering, because I always was claiming to the gentleman in your studio that Constitution is really a fictional document because it's not being enforced. So he's arguing with me left, right, and center. But if it's not being enforced, and he's not taking the initiative to sue the government for breaking or breaching the Constitution, then everybody is at fault, right?
Let's let him respond. Thank you for calling.
All right.
I'm happy that the caller called in. But I think the caller has to understand some very basic fundamental things. See, not because people have been stealing for 50 years, because they've been stealing for 50 years, that means it's right. Stealing is wrong. Always was wrong. Anything that the government is doing and it's contrary to the Constitution, it has been wrong from day one. It's just as simple as that. So not because people are doing crap means you would accept it. He has to understand it takes the collective will. See, he don't understand Article 24.1, you know. He doesn't understand that. Article 24.1 says the Bahamian people have a right to protect their interests. This is not a one-man band. I tell people all the time, people who call themselves activists, do not try to take on a national issue by yourself. The Constitution doesn't support that. What the Constitution says, that you have a right to protect your interests. If you don't protect your interests, what's going to happen? Somebody else will take it away from you.
We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Okay, I could be concise and precise. Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Under the Constitution, are there any protections for non-believers of Christian doctrine, or there's only protection?
I didn't quite get what the caller said.
You're breaking up, caller.
I didn't quite get it.
Okay, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you, as a non-believer, I want to know if there are any rights for non-believers of the Christian doctrine under our Constitution, or there's only, like you say, a protection for those who believe in the Bible.
Let me answer you this way.
Yeah.
The Constitution says every person.
But you've said that several times on the show. You made it very clear.
Every person.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means
religious freedom is protected. In other words.
Okay. So, Mr. Thompson, then you keep saying the Bible, Constitution, the Bible, the Constitution. Isn't it a conflict of interest basically because we are not a theocracy?
No, we are a theocracy.
We are a theocracy?
Yes, it does.
How do you figure that, Mr. Thompson?
It's in the document.
This is not going to be another theocracy.
Listen,
Being another clerical police.
caller.
Yes, sir.
I'm not talking about clerics, you know.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about a nation that is under God. When the founding fathers set this up, the people of the Commonwealth of Bahamas didn't want a nation without God, the God of the Holy Bible, to be in our national affairs. That same God has been giving us protection all these years, even in spite of our disobedience to God.
Even the non-believers?
I'm not getting any argument.
No, I'm being real, man. Even the
I
non-believers.
said to you, the Constitution speaks to every person. The rights in that document applies to every person.
Religious freedom is protected by our Constitution, caller. It is.
We got a whole article on that.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
When you say we are theocracy, you got it wrong, though. Just in a theocracy, we are not governed by clerics.
Okay, caller.
Okay.
I only got 11 minutes left in the show.
Okay. Yeah,
Plus, I got to play my last commercial break. And you taking us in a completely different direction. So, are we still to come to the article that deals with freedom of religion, or we already passed that?
No, man. That's way down.
So that's coming up, right?
That's a good
Okay, so caller, when I come up, then you can call back with this argument, all right? Not right now.
We got plenty of articles.
Yeah, because we got to take this. I listen, my sponsors, I got to get them their props. I can't let us miss a sponsor break.
No.
You know, so we're going to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap this thing up. Stay with us. This is GPS.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor. At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with Mailboat's US addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
From the Oban scandal to the latest saga of FTX and its cryptocurrency debacle, people want to know, who is advising the government on these ventures? Should the government get advice from all sectors? Should the church advise the government on its overall policy agenda? The Josiah Institute Authors Symposium Series 5 deals with this very issue. What should be the church's influence on government policies and legislation? On December 12th at 7 p.m., our hosts, panelists, and chairs will go deep into the issue and bring out the facts on the current role the church plays in the government policy through an examination of the established protocols for the church's involvement in the legislative process. At the end of the evening, Josiah Institute and its partners will provide definitive suggestions for the improvement of the partnership between church and state that will ensure a more efficient consultative process. Join us on our Zoom platform. Bring your questions and comments. Invite your friends and families to this discussion as we continue our series for the reconstruction of the nation in Jubilee. Join us on Facebook Live and YouTube at 7 p.m. Monday, December 12th. How to Reconstruct a Nation, Countdown to Jubilee Authors Symposium, celebrating the Bahamas Golden Jubilee, 50 years as an independent Bahamas.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here with Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson. We only have 4 minutes left in the show. I don't know how much we can get covered within that 4 minutes, Professor. Yeah. But as it relates to Article 11, 1 and 2, we talked about the fact that the Governor General can revoke your Bahamian citizenship if you acquire citizenship of another country and evidence is presented to him of the same. Yeah. Is there any time restriction as it relates to that revocation?
No. It says the Governor General has to be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Once he's satisfied, then he is the one who has the power to do the revoking.
So no matter how long you've held on to both, at any time that comes to his attention and he's satisfied that the evidence is legit,
then he could act.
He could strip you.
He could strip you, yes. He has that power.
And who is able to make a complaint against the person that they suspect has dual citizenship?
Any citizen. Any citizen in this country. Just like you go before the court and you make a complaint, or you go to the police and you make a complaint. It's the same principle.
Like this thing opening up a serious can of worms today, Professor.
Yes, because see, people do not understand the content. That's why I say to people, yes, we got a lot of frustration in this country. When you have a minister in your government is saying things that are diametrically opposed to the Constitution. This ain't just started today, you know. This has been going on for a long time.
Quite some time.
Okay? And we have to correct it. It takes the collective will of the Bahamian people to say to that minister, to that government, you're wrong. and you could bring the proof that he is wrong, or she is wrong, or the government is wrong, the government's not going to always be right.
So, final question, because we only have 2 minutes left in the show. What value do you think this is suggesting that be placed on Article 11?
Ms. Malcolm, as I come to see it, we have to put a lot of emphasis on it. I think a lot of Bahamians do not fully understand Article 11, 1 and 2, so we might have to go over that at another time.
I think we got to go at it again next.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, because you see, my sister asked me, well, he doesn't grant it, so he could revoke it. I say that's what the Constitution says. One minister grants it, another, the Governor General, does the revoking.
And is the Governor General the only person who could do the revoking?
That's what the Constitution says. He has that power. See, I said to some people, the Governor General has some serious authority in his hand. We have to use it. We have to appeal to him. We bring our case to him. So if we don't do nothing about it, and we know these funny things are happening, and we just let it slide, like I said about this particular personality who has given me hardcore evidence. But Ms. Malcolm, I said to that particular personality, what are you going to do about it? It's rock solid, Ms. Malcolm. I have it in my hand. See, that's why I know some funny things are happening in this place. I speak from what I know. Of course, it's the way how I say it here.
We got to wrap it up.
Yeah, okay.
Less than a minute. We definitely have to continue this next week.
We have to. I think we got to go deeper into 11, 1 and 2.
Okay.
The Bahamian people, I don't think many Bahamians understand that the Governor General could revoke citizenship.
All right. We can talk about it next week.
We have to talk about it next week.
But time is gone. Today is 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Got to get out of here. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us once
Thank you
again
very
on this Masterclass Monday. Our time is gone. Join us tomorrow for another thought-provoking show right here on Global 99.5 FM. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thanks for joining us and enjoy your afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network,